Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Will with Schedule Fly, and I'm really excited today. I've got Matt Robb on the phone. He's an operating partner with the GOAT Group, which operates a number of bars in the Los Angeles area, very successful ones in the greater Los Angeles area, and also now in Hawaii. And he travels actually back and forth between Los Angeles and Hawaii, and was kind enough to take some time out of his day to wrap today. So, Matt, thank you. Appreciate it very much.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I'm excited to have a conversation with you guys.
So, okay, man, I always just like everybody to tell me the backstory. Like, how and when did you get into hospitality initially?
Oh man. Well, I initially got into hospitality when I was 19 years old. But then I got out of it for a little while, and I went into the gym business per se. Back in the day when the gym business was one of a good business to be in. And through some life decisions, I decided to move to Los Angeles, and I got back into the bar business, and I started at the bottom once again. I started as a busser per se, and I'm not afraid of hard work, so just worked my way up throughout the process, and here we are today. Almost, I started with my guys now about 7 years ago. And, we have a number of bars operating here in the greater Los Angeles area. And then we opened one in Maui just about 2 years ago now.
Okay, cool, man. All right, so you got out, got back in, started at the bottom. Man, I really I want to ask you about that, because I feel like that's folks that I talk to that start at the bottom seem to have really good stories because they learn every aspect of the business. They know how to do every job, and they can truly lead by example with a lot of credibility. Is that something that you've seen as well?
I'm a true 100% believer in that.
Yeah.
I believe that if you have to do something, you need to learn from the bottom up, because then you see all aspects from every different angle as far as what happens, what is needed. It's a great educational tool. Nowadays, it's a little bit different in the bar business today, because, all the younger guys are coming up. They just want to be handed to be a bartender, and it's unfortunate, because the art of learning about a bar is learning all aspects, whether it be bussing, bar backing, waitressing, and then on into bartending, where, the really good money is. It's kind of a lost art these days.
Yeah, that's interesting. It really is, and it's just it's unfortunate when folks don't look at it that way, because it's a bit myopic, because you actually wind up, like, if you start at the bottom, correct me if I'm wrong, but I would think you're probably nodding your head with this. If you start at the bottom, you wind up being a better bartender. Like, you'll start lower, but you'll advance higher, or at least you give yourself a better chance to advance higher in your career, because you do understand more about the mechanics of the business and how everything works, and the flow, and just every aspect of the business versus just one piece of it.
Yeah, I would agree with you 100%. Not only that, but then you learn all different, job duties as well. So from a bar manager, you see what they do, and back in the day, when I started bar backing, it was, the bartenders were yelling at us. But back in the day, it was like, if you don't have those mats pulled up, those type of things. It doesn't happen like that these days, because everybody, seems like they just give it to them. Everybody wants everything given to them. So it's hard to find really good people these days that know all aspects of the bar, because they've moved up so fast. But when you find those guys that have done that, and sometimes they're a little older, but they know every aspect of it, you got to hold on to them. And that's what we've done here, and that's how we've been able to grow.
How do you hold on to them, man? That's getting harder and harder these days. What do you guys do so well that makes people want to stay a part of your team? Do they because you continue to grow and their opportunities grow, or what's been working for you?
It's a combination of that, but also it's just all about the way you treat them. It's about the perks that they get, and making a fun, happy atmosphere. There's a formula, that is pretty successful in the bar business, right? It's having fun people behind the bar get fun people inside the doors, and fun people stay. So with that formula, if you continue to work on that type of formula, usually you'll be more successful. And we've found that there's less theft, there's less shenanigans going on inside, and there's always that line in the sand. I was a firm believer, brought up into the Tom Hopkins and the Zig Ziglars of the world. Here's a line in the sand: this is what I expect, and then this is what you can't do. And if you do that, then we'll sit down and have a conversation. And that art or that management style is so lost these days. It's reassuring to know that the company that I have and that I work with, that's the way we operate.
Got it, man. Makes a ton of sense. Yeah. Well, look, it's in some ways it's good that it's not as prevalent because it gives you a lot of advantages, doesn't it? Hey, Matt.
Right.
Oh yeah, sorry. I think I may have lost you for a second there. Hey, okay, man. So you mentioned you're not afraid of hard work, and this business is full of hard work. Is that you laugh as he laughs? Is that something that, like, what about work ethic these days? Is it sort of the same deal? Is it a little bit harder to find people that have that kind of work ethic nowadays?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of the biggest challenges that we found in the LA area. It's not as hard because there's such a pool of people out there looking for opportunity. But you go to a smaller town like in Maui or some of the other places that we're looking for future endeavors, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. So it's one of the most sought after traits that you're looking for as far as operating partner or someone that's hiring for a new business. But it's more often times than not the hardest thing to find. Gotcha,
man. Yeah, that's something I'm hearing a lot of these days, and it's interesting. It's well, like you said, you have to, once you can find them, you have to figure out ways to hold on to them. So, tell me a little bit about your group. You guys have how long has the group been around? You said you've been with the group for 7 years. How long has the group been around? You've got 10 or 11 places now. You're growing. Tell me a little bit about the organization itself and the folks that are your partners.
Yeah, so the company started about 10 years ago, and our group name is called the Go Group, and we operate a number of bars here in the greater LA area. But one of the biggest pluses that we have with our group is we have a gentleman by the name of Ryan Sweeney, who is our business partner. And Ryan and a friend of his actually was one of the first pioneer guys.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, man. For some reason, I don't know what's going on, but my audio is going out a little bit on your end.
Okay.
I'm not sure what.
Now?
Yeah, that's a little better. I'm not sure what happened. It was fine for a while there, and then for some reason it started going out a little bit. It may be something with my equipment. I apologize, but I just want to check and make sure you had your phone close by.
Yeah, I'm still here with you.
Okay, that's better. Whatever you did, we're good. Okay, go ahead. So tell us about Ryan.
So yeah, Ryan Sweeney, just to backtrack a little bit, he was one of the first pioneers of bringing craft beer to Los Angeles, and this was a number of years ago before the craft world took off. They were the first guys to start the first newsletter. His first initial bar that he bought, his name was Verdugo Bar, and that was in, if you know the LA area, it's in Eagle Rock. So that used to be almost kind of part of the ghetto or not so good neighborhood. And that was his dream. And I came up with his first bit of money to open that bar, and that was the number one. And then they went on to open about another couple within the next 3 years. And then I came on board about 7 years ago, and we've opened about 5 since. So we're doing about a bar a year on average right now, and just continue to growing in the LA area. Now, you'll notice that the craft beer world is taking kind of a turn to the left because a lot of the bigger brands are buying the smaller craft breweries.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of navigate the waters. But when you have someone like Ryan that's on our team that has the relationships with, all of the brewers or the owners of the smaller breweries, we're able to lock in some of the beers that nobody else can get, the specialty craft beer that isn't with the bigger conglomerates. So it made our job a little bit easier. And now that we've gone into whiskey, that's our new frontier. So most of our bars you'll find anywhere between 200 to 350 rare bourbons, scotches, and whiskeys.
Oh goodness.
On display.
Nice, man. Sounds like my kind of place. That's really cool.
And then in the ice cube too, that makes a big deal. So most of our bars will do the spheres. So we do the sphere, and then or a larger square type of ice cube that you don't usually get in a whole lot of other places. And a lot of people don't know when you get a sphere, which is kind of that round ball that goes into a good whiskey glass.
Yeah,
it actually preserves the whiskey longer than if you use a regular ice cube.
It preserves it longer. Is that because the sphere melts slower? Or?
Correct.
Yeah, gotcha. So, yeah. By the way, Verdugo, it's just brought back memories. I'm obviously, as you can tell from my accent, I'm the South. I'm from North Carolina, but I did spend 2 years in Burbank, and we lived on the corner of Hollywood Way and Verdugo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Hollywood Way and Verdugo, the Park Point Apartments. That was back in like 2000, 2001. But when you said that name, it brought back some memories, man. So, so you've gone into Hawaii now, and you guys are continuing to grow. What do you like most about hospitality?
Oh man, there's a couple things I like. I'm a people person, so I like the interaction that I'd be able to have with guests on a daily basis, as well as the team members. I'm a social butterfly, even if I'm not at work. So I'm always the one starting a conversation or having a conversation. And to be honest with you, the second one, which people kind of laugh at me every time I say this, but every day there's a challenge in the bar business. It doesn't matter whether it's a location or a purveyor or whatever. There's always some type of challenge every day when you wake up. I mean, I don't think there's a day that I don't wake up that there's either some type of 911 call or a emergency here, or this didn't get delivered here, or just, I didn't know my schedule got changed. So there's just a lot of different things that every day when you wake up that you have to overcome, and I love that challenge. I'm a problem solver. That's what I like to do. You give me a problem, I'll figure out a way to solve it, and that's one of the good things that I like to do within the business. And which is funny because your guys' platform has helped me solve a lot of problems.
Oh man, that's cool. That's nice of you to say that. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, well, I'm sure the problems we solve pale in comparison to some of the larger ones y'all may have on any given day. But look, man. I mean, that's a great mentality. It's rare. Most people, prefer not to deal with problems on a daily basis. So, it's certainly in your business with all the things that you have and the moving parts and all the fluctuations of things that can happen on any given day. That's a great way to approach it and a great way to tackle it. So that's cool. That's actually something, if you can't have that mentality, I think in your business, you're going to struggle, aren't you?
I think so. I mean, you gotta be able to have problem solving as one of your fortes if you're going to own a business. Because there's things like, okay, I have a plumber on call, or I have an air conditioning guy on call, or I have this on call. You can have those guys on call, but if you're not able to at least come up with ideas to learn how to get those guys inside or fix it on your own, you're gonna have a really tough time being a business owner, because there's so many things moving parts, especially in the bar business. There's so many moving parts. Like, if you would have told me years ago when I first got into this business that I would have learned every aspect from, when you walk in a bar to see how it's going to flow, if it's busy or if it's slow, it's going to look full. I mean, there's so many little things, or like where you put the glass washer behind the bar, I can't be over here because of this. I would have never known all that. So having so many years in this business, I've been able to hone my skills and figure out solutions and more than hopefully having a little bit of problems.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Well, you said that the formula, by the way, is get fun people behind the bar and fun people in the doors, and fun people will stay. How do you get fun people in the doors? I mean, you must have a lot of competition out there. I mean, everybody does these days, but you've got a lot of competition, I'm sure, in L.A. It's a tough market. What do you guys do to get people coming in and coming back?
Well, back in the day, you had the piece of paper and you were asking people for their email list when, everybody had an email. Nowadays, the marketing came full circle with a little bit more technology-driven stuff, but it all comes down to word of mouth, to be honest with you. In LA, especially, the majority of our bars, up until the last couple of years, we really never had to advertise.
Yeah.
It was just about creating that atmosphere where people wanted to come have a fun time, or if you had a beautiful girl behind the bar, or you had a good event coming on, and then now that social media's taken off, you've got different platforms where people are capturing email addresses for mailing lists that we use in some of our bars as well. It's just a different world, but it comes back to the basics, I believe, and the basics is talking to people,
Mm-hmm.
making sure they're having fun when they walk in the door. If there's a shuffleboard game to play, if there's giant Jenga out or Jenga or Connect Four on the tables, having something that's interactive to keep people in the door is definitely one of the biggest successful things that we've done in the greater Los Angeles area. Now, and then when we took that to Maui, nobody really kind of understood what we were trying to do. But now here 2 years later, and people do understand that when they come in, they can play Jenga at the table, or they have a shuffleboard table they can play. They got cornhole over in the corner. So just keeping it live and fun type of atmosphere, I think that's part of our success.
Dude, I tell you, the shuffleboard thing, those are awesome. We got a bar near our house, and that they've got one of those, and those are fun as heck.
People love it. People love it.
They do love it.
And
no.
And you don't have the pool sharks like you do with pool tables usually.
That's
so,
right. That's
people can come in, they can play shuffleboard. There's usually no real, issues with any type of gambling, or the city looks at you and stuff like that. So it's an easy solution to create something fun.
So, you mentioned things like email, and you talk about the conversations and the relationships that you build with your customers, that your staff builds. I mean, it's really ultimately the staff that does that, and they're the secret sauce. They're the ones who interact with the customers, who have the conversations, particularly in the bar business when there's just so much engagement with the customers, and so much time you can spend talking to them. We have a.
Right.
I'm going to follow up with you. I'm going to let you go here in a minute because I know you're busy, but I'm going to follow up with you because we have something where we've been building and we're going to launch next year, and I want to show it to you and see if you guys might be interested. It's directly in line with that. It's with
Awesome.
enabling the staff to engage their regular customers on a recurring basis and give them reasons to come in and things like that. So I'll follow up with you about that. But man,
that'd be great.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to get your thoughts. Anything else you want to wrap about, man? Because I know you're busy, so I want to let you go. But anything else you'd like to share?
I mean, like I said, when you get into this business, you've got to have some type of drive and determination to make it in the bar business. And, nowadays you're noticing that a lot of the restaurants are shrinking size, and the size of the menus are going down because of, especially here in California, minimum wage is going up. And if you're not a big corporation and being a small mom and pop, it's tough for you to survive with these wages going to where they are, and one of the biggest things that we're trying to brace for is that. But you'll notice a lot of the bars and the restaurants are shrinking their menus and becoming more of, semi-fast casual, because it's keeping the labor down. It's keeping the costs down in the kitchen, because most of your success comes from the front of the house, the bar side, because your margins on your liquor are there. And a lot of times what you see failing in bars and restaurants is because of your kitchen costs. And so you'll notice our formula is small, intimate menus. We call it, modern American bar food, but not being gouged, not gouging us with prep time and food costs in the back. So, that's one of the biggest reasons I think we're successful in the area that we are is keeping the cost down in the back of the house. And for anybody starting out, my advice to you is nowadays where we're at in this, day and time is, keep your costs in the kitchen low and you'll be successful.
Gotcha. Okay. That's phenomenal advice. Yeah, this is an interesting time with labor, isn't it? The things that are going on with some of the regulations and things they're putting in to increase wages and some of the rules around when you can schedule people. It's kind of a beast, isn't it?
I mean, trying to navigate these waters in the last, 2 years with minimum wage going up to where it's at, and you're a mom and pop, your livelihood is being a smaller location and doing these amount of numbers to be able to survive. And where they're going, it's tough. It really is tough, and you have to learn how to pivot. And we've learned how to pivot in the back of the house to be being successful, or at least where we're still successful, I should say. And a lot of people that are starting out are opening up these big back of the houses, and most of your money will go into your labor and your food and everything else if you're not on top of it. So the bar business is definitely pivoted, because you used to go over to a bar and have really big menus of everything, or now you see all these modern American shared plates. People coming out with mac and cheeses or things that everybody can have a little bit of bite of, and that's kind of where the bar business per se, the gastro pub area has gone. And it's fun to watch it change, but at the same time, there's always challenges with change, but you have to figure out the solutions for the challenges.
Well, there you go, and you're right back to it, solving some problems, man. I love it. I hear you, my friend. I hear you. Well, cool. Listen, I really appreciate the time, Matt. I know everybody listening does as well, so thank you very much. Y'all have a great business. We're proud to serve you, and if I can ever do anything, man, let me know. But I'll let you go, and just thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And like I said, you guys saw I go back to where we were doing Excel spreadsheet schedules. So I want to thank you as well. You guys are in every one of our locations, and you help us solve problems on a daily basis by not having to sit in front of a computer for hours doing a schedule.
I hear you, man. Well, I appreciate it. That's very kind of you. We're always glad to hear that. Well, listen, I'll let you go. Thank you so much. Holler anytime I can do anything for you. I will follow up because I want to show you what we're working on.
Cool. Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right. Take care, Matt. Bye.